Once upon a time, a pirate set out on a quest to challenge the Elite Four. He was doing well at first. He conquered the League's first 2 members. Until one day, an obstacle stood in his way. The third, who proved to be far more of a threat than he ever could have anticipated. Many battles were fought and lost. All the plans he had to deal with her were thwarted. It all seemed hopeless. The quest's failure was inevitable. But the pirate would not give up. He decided that desperate times called for desperate measures. There was yet one thing he could do. He had to use that. Welcome back to the Pokemon Black No Experience run. And yep, things kind of happened. My first run of the Elite Four was somewhat less than successful. Yeah, to put it in perspective, if I was to compile all of the failed takes against Caitlyn, they would amount to over an hour of video footage. To put this in perspective, my Skyward Sword, 6 hearts, no shield, hero mode run, the outtakes for that entire game amounted to less than that. Yes, and that includes an enormous amount of failed takes against the final boss. And yes, my failures against Caitlyn alone amount to over an hour of footage. It was that bad. I basically came to conclude that Caitlyn was pretty much impossible with the team that I had. And, oh, now I find a level 42 Durant? Oh, come on! Game, why do you love to troll me sometimes? And you troll me some more, of course, by not letting me run. Yeah, I kinda need to put the smoke ball on. Ugh, really? I only run into a level 42 Durant now? Ugh. I've basically found out the hard way that Durant was not nearly as useful in the Pokemon League as I thought it would be. Yeah, basically, despite the fact that it's fast and it has types that are super effective against Caitlyn's Pokemon, there is a slight problem. Durant's special defense is so bad that even resisted Psychics come very close to one-hit KOing it. And yes, I really mean that. Really mean that. Seriously, if you want to see those failed takes against Caitlyn now, I might eventually just speed up all those failed takes and set them to music. I'll probably put them in a different video. But anyway, if you want to see, though, my successful runs against Shauntal and Grimsley, which were now rendered useless due to the fact that I have to restart the whole Pokemon League, well, I've got a video for that, actually. I actually put it up very early in the run, but if you're watching this from the playlist, it should appear next in the playlist. And why is this thing not turning up? I'm finding nothing but gems. I mean, not that that's bad at all, considering how rare they are in X and Y, but still. Most Kalos denizens would kill for this kind of haul, but not me. Anyway, you know what? I think I'm just going to cut until it shows up. Okay, so after a couple of more gems retrieved, aha! There you are. Yes, I was using repels to make this a little easier. It still took quite a while. Yes. I hate to say it, but I'm going to have to use Excadrill. Now, I do admit Excadrill is a horribly broken Pokemon in Sandstorm. I'm not going to be using Sandstorm, so Excadrill is kind of fair game for me. That being said, just believe me when I say it is, if you see what this Excadrill ends up doing later in the run, oh boy, Excadrill is still pretty insanely powerful. Another cool thing about Excadrills is they come with Earthquake right off the bat. In fact, they actually come with a pretty decent moveset right off the bat, with the exception of one move. Anyway, I have to catch this one, because I've basically deemed that Caitlyn is next to impossible without an Excadrill, at least in this kind of challenge. It was just weird because I never expected Caitlyn to be this hard. I never expected Caitlyn to be the one who gave me trouble. I always thought it would be Marshall who gave me the most trouble, and that's partly why I was a little bit worried about including Excadrill, because you got both Terrakion and Excadrill weak to fighting. But anyway, Now, what to name this thing? I believe I'm gonna call this... Let's see. I am a little limited in letter space here. After much deliberation, I decided to call this one... I had to kind of contract this a little bit so it would fit. And I was kind of judging whether or not this would actually fit, but it turns out it actually did. I'm gonna call this one, and yes, I'm gonna call this one Problem Breaker! Props to you if you actually get what that's a reference to. It is gonna break the problem I have, and oh, what's this? Yep, cutting to later, I actually end up finding another Excadrill, and just because I was desperate, I want to catch another one. I really need to make sure that I get this right. I need a member to take down Caitlyn, and Excadrill is just the thing for the job. I need it, and I'm gonna go so far as to catch 2 of them, just for extra insurance policy. I want to see if I can find one that is, you know, slightly better than the other one. Getting 2 will give me a bit of... Now, normally, yes, I don't like catching 2 of the same species in this kind of challenge. I've avoided it before. I had to for a Lillipup because of level differences earlier, but I've avoided it before. But anyway, this one is going to be called... Hey, you know what's annoying? I was actually trying to find the original voice clip that I got this line from, and the entire video has been deleted. I'll just mention that this is a reference to a line from Shining Force 3, the game with infamously bad voice acting, and I can't believe they deleted that video, seriously. It's like the only thing that people know from that game is the Bear My Arctic Blast line, but every single line from that game is a gold mine of so bad it's good, and there was this video that contained basically every single line. It was just so awesome. I always love listening to it. The name here derives from a certain character who I presume is some kind of boss, yelling out the attack Drill Smash in a voice that sounds like a very, very bizarre cross between Yoda and Elmo. Oh, I really wish I had that voice clip because it was just hilarious. But anyway, let's just check these 2 Excadrills before I completely lose my mind. And yeah, start complaining about bad voice acting videos being removed from YouTube. But anyway, right, so this one is Gentle, and the other one is I didn't see. They both have Sand Rush. Oh, yeah, they both have Sand Rush, which is nice, except I'm not going to be using that. And yes, actually, both of them have they start with quite decent movesets right off the bat. In fact, oh, that's why! Okay, at first I was starting to wonder whether or not, whether I used Drill Smash, because Gentle is not that good of a nature. The thing is, this one comes with Swords Dance right off the bat, which is very, very good, because as I was complaining about in the previous video, you don't get the TM of that until the post-game, which means that unless I want to waste another rare candy, and I'm not sure I have rare candies, I have to use this one, because Swords Dance is just way too helpful. In fact, Swords Dance on this Excadrill is absolutely critical to a few of my later strategies, so I need to use this one. Drill Smash, the one who has Swords Dance. I must use her, basically. Not only that, but she comes with Rock Slide and Earthquake, a very good combination right off the bat. Only one move in that moveset is actually... Okay, I do have 2 rare candies, right. Only one move in that set... I actually... Alright, what I was doing here is, I was elevating Problem Breaker up to the level where they would learn Swords Dance, and then checking their stats to see if there are any notable differences. Now, of course, I want to get rid of Horn Drill. That is the one move that is, the one I don't want. And I have a very good idea of a replacement for it in the long run. But first, let's just check stats very quickly. So, Gentle is not the best nature, but let's just check. Oh, okay, the first one, okay, yes. Drill Smash has vastly superior attack, and HP, somewhat superior HP. Bit lower defense, but let's just check that special defense again. Yes, Problem Breaker does have somewhat better speed, which in the end could actually be critical, because I can always boost my attack with Swords Dance. Then again, special, oh wow! Okay, Drill Smash only... Okay, that is interesting. I can conclude Drill Smash must have a horrible special defense IV, because it has a plus speed nature and it's still lower than the one with a neutral nature with regards to special defense. So my conclusion is, Drill Smash has to have an absolutely horrible special defense IV, but that's probably not that bad for my purposes. But anyway, I end up going with the one with the better attack overall, and it turns out I'm actually not going to be able to use Terrakion in my league run. This is actually going to make Chantal a lot harder than usual, because there's one particular Pokemon on Chantal's team that Terrakion is pretty much guaranteed to outspeed and one-shot. Excadrill, not so much. Darkness falls on the land as the pirate begins his journey toward the final battle. And that sounded ridiculously like my Lysandra voice, I just realized. Okay, that's enough of that. Now, let's go ahead and teach Light Screen. The reason being, well, you will see in a moment. Believe me, Light Screen is going to help so much more than Reflect in the fight that I'm going to do first. Now, I'll just mention this right here. For the first time in the series, in Black and White, you can challenge the Elite Four in any order. Normally, I like to do things left to right, so I go Chantal, Grimsley, Caitlyn, and then Marshall. Most of the time, that is the order I prefer, although in my very first playthrough I actually did save Caitlyn to last because she was the one returning character, so to speak. But anyway, speaking of Caitlyn, X-Scissor. You might be wondering why I'm teaching this. The thing is, a super effective X-Scissor is actually stronger than a Stab Earthquake, and that's going to make all the difference against Caitlyn's Pokemon, considering that most of them are in fact weak to X-Scissor. So yeah, at one point I was considering teaching Shadow Claw, and then I realized, oh wait, a super effective Shadow Claw is exactly equal to Stab Earthquake, so aside from the extra critical hit ratio, it's pretty much pointless. However, yeah, X-Scissor does have an extra 5 power on Shadow Claw, and that does push it above a Stab Earthquake when it's super effective. Yeah, reaching 160 power rather than 150, which, again, is better than Stab Earthquake, so that is going to be useful. And I'm going to need to take that Rock Gem for a second. Now, that Rock Gem was very important to me in my initial fight against Chantal. I used it to ensure that Chandelure went down as fast as possible. Now, I'm gonna have to think of a different plan, because I'm not actually going to be using Terrakion. Terrakion was probably the one Pokemon who did the least in my last Pokemon League run, which was weird. But anyway, the main thing I want to say is, while I would have wanted to do this, starting with Chantal, going around and finishing with Marshall, I'm not. Yep, after all those painful defeats I suffered at her hands, Caitlyn is going down. Yep, I'm taking her out first. It's the only way I'll be able to achieve peace. So, let's check this statue. Words are engraved in the statue. 4 great warriors from this Pokemon League. To the southwest is one who does not fear the ghost type. To the southeast is one who channels the power of the fighting type. To the northwest is one who has mastered the dark type. To the northeast is the one who is EVIL! If you defeat these warriors with your courage and wisdom, you shall be led to the summit, where the strongest champion awaits. Yes, I love that inscription. It makes this thing so much more epic. It really feels like you are challenging, to quote their Japanese title, the 4 Heavenly Kings rather than any kind of actual elite trainers. Just feels so epic. Despite the fact that this is actually probably one of my least favourite leagues, like in terms of the actual members in the series. I don't exactly know why, but anyway, here we are in this very bizarre room. If we step here, we get carried up the lazy staircase. Basically, staircase for lazy people. You just get carried all the way up. But if we go in here, the Den of Evil opens. And the vile evil one herself steps out of her bed because she was sleeping there because she's... Actually, she does have a very good reason for that, but you'll find that out after we've defeated her and spoken to her. Interesting things about Caitlyn's character, which I'll talk about a little more, because I basically feel the need to explain just about every single facet of this fight. Oh boy. Yep, I was not looking forward to this at the time. Caitlyn was incredibly hard. Much harder than I would have suspected. The thing was, in all my normal playthroughs of this game, Caitlyn never stood out to me as that tough. This time, oh boy. Probably due to the fact that I use a whole lot of fighting types. I'm basically forced to. Anyway, the plan here is Agogi sets up the light screen, and it's very hard for me to set this with a straight face. Okay, now if I get lucky, she misses with Thunder. Now, she has this very annoying habit of paralyzing you with Thunder repeatedly. I've once had to use several full restores, and she kept paralyzing me on Thunders. It is very, very, very irritating. Now, if you get really lucky, she will miss Thunders. If not, then, well, it's kind of bad. See, this Thunder is quite annoying. Now, oh boy, the exact opposite of a wonderful time is about to start. Anyway, I am very, very slowly chipping away at Reuniculus. Oh wow, okay, I'm getting very lucky here and it's missing its Thunders. This is critical. If it hits too many Thunders, you are basically screwed. I have a feeling it's still entirely possible to lose this even with Excadrill, because of one main thing. You might be thinking that you can switch in Excadrill now while it's thundering. Don't! Reuniculus here, okay, and I don't know why I did that, I was just trying to see if I did more. Reuniculus here is the one thing on Caitlyn's team that Excadrill can't handle, and I knew I'd get paralyzed sooner or later. Okay, oh damn it, my light screen's gone. Okay, I need to heal here, put the light screen back up, that is absolutely imperative. If this thing ever crits with Thunder, it's basically all over this battle. Like, this first bit is crucial. The reason is, see, look at that, it's doing that much to me without the light screen up. That is ridiculous. Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is, this thing knows Focus Blast. If you bring Excadrill on this thing, you will get Focus Blast. Don't count, and I see what I told you about her always paralyzing you? Now, what I'm going to do here is, I'm going to switch out, I'm going to bring Excadrill in on the Thunder. Now, I am confident that it has enough health that I will finish it with X-Scissor, and oh crap, I forgot to PP up it. This could be bad. Hopefully, though, I only need these 5 X-Scissors. Now, I took out Reuniculus right there. Reuniculus is the main threat to Excadrill in this fight. Without Reuniculus, okay, also be warned, this Sigilyph has Ice Beam. It's kind of easy to not see it coming. Now, without Reuniculus and its Focus Blast, Excadrill resists, or almost resists, in some cases. Ice Beam is basically the only thing in the rest of Caitlyn's team that actually does neutral damage to Excadrill, and with Light Screen still up, it's basically a pushover. And Light Screen is gone. This could be bad. But hopefully, I have enough, and I didn't want to risk another one because Sigilyph is in fact faster. Phew! Hopefully, I am faster than Caitlyn's remaining 2 Pokemon, and I have enough of a Swords Dance boost to sweep the rest of her team. If not, I can always attempt to heal on this Musharna, which I think is what I'm about to do, because Musharna really has nothing that can threaten Excadrill. It knows Shadow Ball, which is actually a very big threat to Gothitelle, and Psychic, but not much else. You'll see Psychic here. Now, hopefully I can tank these. It's not the best in terms of offense, so hopefully after a couple of Swords Dances, but you know what, I really want to make sure. Considering that every single thing this thing has, I resist, I feel safe putting up another Swords Dance. Now, I also know that I'm faster, which is very good, but I'm a little worried about her final Pokemon. Her final Pokemon also doesn't have very much that can threaten Excadrill, but hopefully... Okay, you're down. Now, if I outspeed her last Pokemon, I've got this. If not, there could be trouble. But the thing is, Gothitelle has Psychic, I believe Shadow Ball, and also... Oh, the Expert Battle is also helping me a little bit here. I have to stay cool and collected here, because... And I'm faster. Good. This battle is won. And that's it. Now, Gothitelle, I believe, has Psychic, possibly Shadow Ball, and Thunderbolt, which doesn't work on me. But anyway, Caitlyn is down! That was satisfying, but incredibly annoying. The nightmare is over! And see just how easy that was with Excadrill. If you'll see just how much hardship I faced without Excadrill, yeah, I made this battle a lot easier than it actually seemed. Believe me, do not underestimate Caitlyn in the slightest. Caitlyn is one of the biggest threats in this entire game. I lost to her more times than Clay and Sorks, the previous two nightmares in this run. I lost to her more than that, maybe even about tenfold. Caitlyn is possibly, again, I can't stress this enough, the single hardest thing I have fought so far in this entire challenge. So, an Excadrill makes it look really easy. So basically my advice here, if you're attempting a challenge like this, get an Excadrill. Get an Excadrill. Otherwise, you are basically screwed, pretty much. Now I can finally talk a little bit about Caitlyn. Caitlyn is a very interesting character. She actually debuted in Pokemon Platinum as the owner of the Battle Castle. If you speak to her after you battle her, you get a very interesting quote here. Oh, I do not wish. I never want to see you again. Go away. Anyway, that line there explains why she never battled you back in Platinum. She was still controlling that kill everything urge. Which explains just how much of a terror she was when I battled her just then. But, anyway. The annoying thing I find, and I actually ran into this in my first playthrough when, as I said, I left Caitlyn for last. If you leave Caitlyn for last, she will not say that line if you talk to her again. She'll just say, you've now beaten all the Elite Four, congratulations, go on to the champion. Which is why I don't recommend finding Caitlyn last. Out of all the members of the Elite Four, her final words are probably the most significant to her character out of anything, and it explains something in previous games. It provides a really interesting backstory detail, and you don't get that if you leave her for last. So that actually really annoyed me. In my first playthrough, I actually missed that line. So basically, yes, every Elite Four member has a line they say when you talk to them after the battle. They will not say that line if they were the last one you beat. Instead, they'll talk about going after the champion next. Now, I need to switch around a couple of TMs, particularly Shadow Ball. And with this TM, you know who we're fighting next. Yep, I'm going to go back to my original order from now on. Not just because it's my original order, but because Chantal is the only, well, not so much only, but Chantal is the second member of the Elite Four that might actually prove to be trouble. So, with one light lit, due to one defeated member, I'll see you next time.